collection of, we're a nonpartisan group of individuals expressing our freedom of speech.
That was John Estes speaking today on the behalf of Rockstone Mountain, a white heritage group. Thank you for tuning in to Channel 10. I'm Gabriel Ramos. Rockstone Mountain held a rally at Stone Mountain Park on what they said was an exercise in First Amendment rights on the behalf of white culture this morning. The rally drew a large amount of protesters, media, and first responders, and we were on the scene.
Dozens of protesters spoke out against Rockstone Mountain's white culture gathering at Stone Mountain Park. The presence of both the event and protesters created problems for the park itself, which was forced to shut down its attractions.
Well, it started off with this Rockstone Mountain group filing for a permit to rally out here. Given the First Amendment issue, we tried to stop it, but couldn't legally. And so when that permit was entered and word got out, then we had a number of counter-protest permits applied for. 2 were approved, and then there's another group that didn't even file a permit, all out of Atlanta, but we've been following them on social media and other web-related sites. And their plan was to stop this. They sent out news releases and saying they were just going to flat out stop it. And so that's who we're having to deal with today to try to keep the group separated.
The park was in full anticipation of any violent outbursts and called in the Georgia State Patrol and Department of Corrections to assist local police with keeping the peace. In addition, local fire and EMS were present to handle other emergencies. However, law enforcement was not present to keep peace with Rockstone Mountain, but with the protesters who strongly opposed the group's perceived racism, a sentiment some participants insist isn't there.
What would I like to see happen? I'd like to see our culture preserved. I passed 2 streets named after Martin Luther King on the way here this morning, and a national monument to Martin Luther King. Nobody's saying to burn his name off of there and erase it and put a Confederate flag on top of Martin Luther King Boulevard because, well, that's only right. That'd be diversity. But there's people here that want this sandblasted and they want his statue on top of the mountain. This is one of the few Confederate monuments left. This is a Confederate museum, this whole park. That's what this is. Let's not lose sight of that.
Throughout the morning, tensions between races threatened to boil over. In some cases, they actually did.
Well, there have been 9 arrests so far, and related to the Georgia mask law. 3 of those were arrested in addition to the mask law violation with obstruction-related charge. And they've been taken to DeKalb County Jail.
There's families out here. It took a great act of courage to come out here and speak up against that. They're threatening to kill us. If they could get down here to us, they would kill us.
Although Estes said he felt threatened by the mob of protesters, some, like this gentleman who argued with one of our black reporters, felt more open to conflict, but the Department of Corrections stood ready to handle any problems. Despite the fighting and yelling, however, some insisted on as peaceful as an approach as possible.
We came up against a few Confederate people, and we had a few conversations with them and realized that, not all of them are actually racist. They've actually been through some things and seen some things that we haven't seen. So, that's we saw both sides of the story,
This is a family-oriented park. And we wish we could stop these kinds of rallies. They've gotten out of hand since August the 1st, and we want it to stop. We tried to stop this, but legally we couldn't. And we want to continue serving the community and the state with in all walks, all races. Welcome to come here. We encourage them to come here and enjoy what this park has to offer.
Stone Mountain Park will remain open to all visitors past the rally. Rockstone Mountain said they do not currently have plans for upcoming rallies, but will hold events in the future. Thanks for watching. Spider-Man 3 is next on KSU Classics. Have a good evening.